Well, well, well. It is another great day to be a Dallas Cowboys fan. And this is just going to be a quick show today. We got another show planned for tonight. But I just want to talk a little bit about the Dallas Cowboys and the state of the Dallas Cowboys, and kind of want to talk to the fan base and just kind of talk about kind of what's currently going on, or the reality is of what's not going on. And so the message that I'm going to talk about today, what I'm going to talk about today as it applies to the Dallas Cowboys, is I just want to talk to us about being patient. Man. The Bible gives a very powerful principle, whether you believe or not. Be anxious for nothing. Be anxious for nothing. I know. It's been 30 years. It's been 30 years. Okay, well, if it's been 30 years, it might be 31 years. But the time is coming. But I believe the time is coming sooner than later. And the thing that I want us to be patient about is we have to be patient and watch what we are doing. Just watch what we're doing and let's keep doing it. I'm going to get more into this in just a moment, but I'm going to give us a quick rundown of the show we're going to do today. We're going to be in here till about probably around 4:30. I mean, not 4:30. I'm sorry, we're going to be in here today till around 5:30, and then we're going to have a second show tonight, and I'll let you know when that is. I'll announce it. I'll send out the notification. So if you don't have that notification bell turned on, please turn it on so you know the next time we go live and post another video. Let me give you the topics for today. And y'all know I already told you my eyes are bad. I just put these on to begin with today again, because they are the Cowboys. Yes. Let's go. These are the topics for today. Today we are going to deal with, and we're not going to talk long. We're going to talk about Amari Cooper. And I cannot kill this Amari Cooper argument in the minds of many. But I'm just going to continue to keep it real about Amari Cooper. We're going to mention Jonathan Mingo just a little bit. Not going to talk a lot about Jonathan Mingo. I'm going to stick with my main two topics for the day, and that is going to be patient, and that is Shotty's plan, because I want to remind us of what has transpired since Brian Schottenheimer has been with this franchise. And what has happened since Brian Schottenheimer has been with this franchise is incredible. Whether anyone likes it or admits it, it has literally been incredible. So, because I don't have a lot of time today, but I want to visit with you all. Let's get a quick roll call, and it's going to be quick, and then we are going to get into it, and we'll greet others as they come in. Let's do this thing, man. I'm telling you, another great day to be alive, another great day to be blessed to see this side of life, another day to be with family and friends. And it is definitely a blessing to be a fan of the greatest franchise in all of sports. That is the Dallas Cowboys. Let's get it. Y'all know I told you before I can't see. My man Hoodie Kush 81 in the crib. What else going on? Kelvin Hicks, let's go. Jameson Taylor, hope all is well. What's going on with you? Lord Nova 85, I got you later on tonight. David J, hey y'all, what's going on? Kelvin Hicks, he said people aren't ready for the fact that we are about to be stuck with Tobin Mingo as our wide receiver. I can see what you're saying there, but I'm gonna show you. Just be patient. John Jones, what's going on? My man Pure Gaming. Pure Gaming, man, you done gave me an idea for a whole video I'm gonna do tonight, and I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna give you the credit for it, Pure Gaming. Man, you had me rolling last night, and I've done a little bit more research. Based on what you said, Pure Gaming. I'm going to have some fun with it today on the video. And Trail Sanford, what's going on with you? DC4L. Patrick Johnson Jr. in the crib. What up? Ultra Cowboy, what's going on? Yes, sir. He said, daily reminder, Dak is bun juice. Not true. But still, welcome. Timothy Govin. He says, hailing from South Carolina, what's going on with you? He said, love your content, appreciate you. Eddie Lowe, what up? Cool Breeze 22, he said, what's up, preacher? I say, what up to you too, Cool Breeze. Patrick D. Johnson, he said, G, you the GOAT of any Cowboys podcast. Hey, man, appreciate you. Ultra, he said, I have the same issues watching playoff Dak. We're going to be fine. Hey, what's going on? What's happening? What is happening? Jason Lewis, what up? Aztec in the crib, he said, what's going on? He said, everybody in the chat today. Yes, sir. Brandon Trujillo, what up? All right, this is Let's Talk Cowboys and We Talk Facts. Let's get into this. Jason Lewis, let's talk about it a little bit. And this is going to be my theme today with all of the things I'm going to talk about. Be patient. Let me tell us something that the Bible is 100% correct on. You can live your life by this principle. Be anxious for nothing. And the Cowboys in the case of a wide receiver too. I said this yesterday, and I'm going to say it again. We need to be patient, Cowboys Nation. We need to be patient. I know all of the football experts are saying we need a wide receiver too. You don't have to be a football expert. You don't have to watch film. You don't have to be on social media. If you just watch the Dallas Cowboys over the last 2 seasons, we know we need a wide receiver too. But the thing that is different about this year and the reason why I'm telling us to be patient, let us be patient because we are doing things different. We haven't done things different. See, some people, they're acting like we've done something different. And for the people who say, it's amazing some of the people who were criticizing people like me for saying the Cowboys are moving different. This is not the same team. Jerry Jones is doing some things different. People who were criticizing people like me, all of a sudden, they're the same people talking about, boy, the draft was an A+. You don't think Jerry Jones had something to do with that? You don't think Jerry Jones had something to do with Tyler Booker coming in here, not taking a chance on Brock Hoffman, and Jerry Jones had something to do with let's get Zach Martin's replacement now? I know we think Jerry Jones is a joke, but don't confuse the fact that Jerry Jones be tripping sometimes with Jerry Jones also don't know. And I don't think it's the fact that Jerry has never known. I think it's the fact that Jerry has just been more about his money than he's been about winning. But let me tell you something. Jerry right now, Jerry is definitely realizing something. He has more tomorrows. I mean, he has more yesterdays than tomorrows. Jerry knows the clock is ticking. Jerry knows if I want to get a win, if I want another Super Bowl win before I leave this life, I need to act right now because I don't have time to be waiting until 2029 or 2030 when I might not even be here. Lord forbid that's not true. Hopefully he is here. But again, they're not done, y'all. That's the reason why I'm telling us to be patient. They're not done. And what we don't need to do in doing, we don't need to make a move out of desperation. Somebody says that, Amari Cooper isn't a desperation move. Yes, he is. If you're being honest with yourself, Amari Cooper is a desperation move. If we're being honest with ourselves and we're watching the trajectory of this team, if we're watching what they're doing, they're getting younger. And what the Cowboys just need to do is be patient. Let me tell y'all what we need to do. How about we get these rookies in? How about we do that part first? How about we get these rookies in? How about we get them in, get them acclimated? How about we enjoy the draft that we just had and look at what we have and not look at the glass as half empty, as if this is all the Cowboys are going to do. The Cowboys are done. They did good in free agency. They had a great draft, and now they're done. And we're going to be stuck with Jalen Tolbert. We're going to be stuck with Jonathan Mingo. Can we? It's April. Last time I checked, it was April 30th. Can we be just a little bit more patient and continue to enjoy? Because I'm telling you, man, I believe this about some Dallas Cowboys. I believe this about some Dallas Cowboy fans. Never satisfied. Never satisfied. Never satisfied. And if this was the same old, I could understand that attitude. But this isn't the same old, whether anybody wants to admit it or not. It's not the same old. The Cowboys are not doing things the same. They're doing, and that's what I want to put in our minds. They're doing things differently. They're doing things differently, and I'm here to watch them do things differently. And for all of the Cowboy gurus out there, they're not listening to you. They're not listening to you. So many people had so many players that, the Cowboys can get this and do this and do this. They didn't do none of that. They didn't do none of that. They did exactly what they planned on doing. They didn't take your input. They're not taking my input. It's fun to say what they should do, but at the end of the day, they're not taking our input. It is absolutely fun. But what I want to just tell us again, patience. How about we be excited about the fact they're finally doing things the right way? They went in the draft. They addressed the trenches. They didn't rest on their laurels. As a matter of fact, the Cowboys have already waived players today, if I'm not mistaken. The Cowboys have already started waiving players. They're already waiving players, guys. Malik Davis, who's been here for 19 years and 19 years, 2 months, 3 weeks, and 2 days. If I'm not mistaken, Malik Davis got waived today. The Cowboys are already starting to shrimp because the Cowboys have got a humongous roster right now. And the thing that we ought to be excited about, they're not done. They're not done. The Cowboys are not done. The Cowboys this year are more in tune. And the reason why they're more in tune is that they have a coach who is now focused on coaching. He's focused on winning. He's focused on a Super Bowl because he's not like the previous coach. No, he's focused on winning. And all he's doing when he's talking to Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones and the entire front office is he's talking about, okay, this is what I want to do. This is the type of team I want to be. This is the mentality I want to build. This is what, he's telling them this. And he's telling them these are the types of players that are going to get us to where we want to be. And they're listening. They're listening. And I'm going to tell you what happens to you when you get into a certain mode of thinking. If you put yourself into a certain mode of thinking that it's the same old. This is what we've done. We haven't been to a Super Bowl in 30 years. It's Jerry. He's never going to change. If you put yourself in that mode, that's the mode you remain in even when things are changing. And you will be the person who will be, or the people who will be pulling people back, or giving people anxiety, making people feel the wrong way towards the team, making people feel the wrong way towards the fan base because of you projecting your own thought process on the team when we can all see they're moving different. And then we got somebody saying they're not moving different. They're not moving different, even though, oh, I love the draft. They're moving different. They're moving different. I don't care what you tell me. They're moving different. They went in free agency, the doubters. The doubters in free agency were saying, ooh, I don't like those picks. Ooh, I don't like that pick. Ooh, I don't like that pick. The doubters, the doubters, the doubters. Only 4 people after free agency was over, everyone starts going, maybe the free agency isn't too bad. Because you didn't know what they were doing. Because they were doing something they hadn't done before. And I said what they were doing. I don't have to be a football expert to know what the Cowboys were doing. The Cowboys were creating depth. That's what they were doing. They were creating depth, so that they could then go in the draft and build upon the depth and get some potential starters. And I'm telling us, the argument is out there. And I'm telling you, you can listen to who you want to. I don't care. I'm not going to lobby for people to listen to me. I'm not going to do it. You either like the content or you don't. You don't like it, you don't have to watch, you don't have to listen. And that's not a knock on you. I'm just saying, if you don't like the content, you don't have to watch it. I'm not going to beg anybody to watch the content. I want you to watch the content if you like it. I don't want you to watch it if you don't like it, because I don't want anybody doing anything they don't like to do. I keep my faith in God. Any success I have, I give all glory to God. I don't give glory to men. I'm not going to beg men to go out there and endorse me. I'm not going to beg men to do that, because if you let men build you, men get to tear you down. And that is one of the reasons why I will not, and I refuse. I am not going to fool with men who want to gatekeep and think they can build somebody. You can't build anybody. Some people want to be the gatekeeper. They want to be the gatekeeper in a genre, the gatekeeper in a race, the gatekeeper as it pertains to certain things. No, you won't gatekeep me. My God is bigger than you. I serve a God bigger than man. And so many people I've learned, they want to control your feelings. I don't want to control your feelings. I just want to tell you what the Cowboys are doing. You can choose to look at it how you want to. You can choose to say, I don't believe you. Okay, well, you can just believe against facts. I'm telling you, when you look at what the Cowboys are doing, I would not have trusted the Dallas Cowboys in years previous. And I'm going to relate this to Amari Cooper. I would not have trusted the Dallas Cowboys in years past. But when I look at what they did, in the draft and free agency, you can tell me what you want to. This is not the same front office. It's the same front office, but it's not the same front office. Somebody came in this front office, and they became the thing that changed the thing that had always been the same. And they're moving totally different. A lot of us were afraid that the Cowboys, because I'm not afraid to say what I said. I said prepare yourselves, because I believe the Cowboys think their offensive line is already on the team. So just prepare yourself. But Jerry said after listening to Tyron Smith, Jerry said this after listening to Tyron Smith. It really, and I'm paraphrasing, but it made me realize the importance of getting another lineman, Tyler Booker. Tyler Booker. That's who they got, Tyler Booker. They said he is the Zach Martin replacement based on his play, based on his leadership, based on his drive. They got Tyler Booker. Tyler Booker is probably going to be a day one starter. We need a cornerback. What did they do? The Cowboys might have got the steal of the draft. They went and got Savon Revel Jr. There is nobody that it will disagree. Savon Revel Jr. is probably going to be the steal of the draft. He would have been either the number 2 or the number ranked cornerback in college football had he not got an ACL injury. I think it's an ACL injury. And from all intents and purposes, everything I'm hearing, it's not the Jaden Smith thing. It's a clean tear, repaired, good to go. He'll start out on the PUP list, and then he'll start revving up as we get towards the season. They've already addressed Trayvon Diggs. They've addressed him. They've addressed him. I'm telling you, man, everywhere you look what the Cowboys did in free agency and the draft, the Cowboys set themselves up not to stop doing. This is the part I want to encourage you with. And I'm not just being positive for the sake of being positive. I'm telling you what they're doing, not what they've done. When you're done, you're done. You're through. Some people like to talk about a cake before it's fully baked. If you're baking a cake before it's fully through and you look in the oven, you're going to look at that cake and say, I don't know if I want that. It looks like cornbread. Can we let the cake finish baking? Can we let the cake rise? Can we get the other 2 layers? Can we put the frosting on the cake? Can we see what the frosting gonna be made of? Can we put the frosting, the layer, cover the cake? Can we put the decorations on the top before we say they're done? The cake is not done, and I like what they are doing. They're not done with the process. The Cowboys have set themselves up to where now they're gonna continue to tweak this team. The Cowboys are going to continue to tweak this team. How do I know? Because that's what they've been doing. That's what they've been doing, and they're doing it. They're doing it. No matter what anyone says, they're doing it. They're not done. The Cowboys right now, they're still scouring the NFL. They're trying to figure out, okay, what is the move that we can make? Because I'm telling y'all, you can hate me or love me. You can like it or love it. The Cowboys have a lot of confidence in Jonathan Mingo. You don't have to. I'm just telling you. And they're not saying, because Steven has said the number 2 receiver isn't on this team. Jerry Jones keeps talking about Jonathan Mingo. But I want us to just in totality understand what I'm saying and understand what I think they're saying. Stephen Jones gave us a clue on this. Looking in the draft, where is the threshold where you get below what we scored or what we grade as a number 2 wide receiver? I'm telling you what happened. People can argue this all you want to, but Jerry himself, he alluded to it. Tyler Booker is not who they planned on getting day one. He is not who they planned on getting. He was a part of the plan. He wasn't who they planned to get. Ted McMillan was the pick. Tedera McMillan was the pick. There are already people saying the Cowboys could have got Tyler Booker. I'm not sure they could have got Tyler Booker if they'd have went down further, because the way people were taking those trenches, I'm not sure they could have got Tyler Booker. They probably could have got another, but I don't know if they could have got Tyler Booker. But the Cowboys had Ted McMillan on that board, graded higher than Tyler Booker. Now, I like the way things turned out. I'm not going to go back. I mean, hindsight is 2020. I'm not going to go back and second guess it. But Jerry, they all alluded to this. Tyler Booker was not the pick Tyler Booker was the board. He was the board. That's what he was. He was the board. And the Cowboys didn't want to reach. They didn't have a number 12 grade on Matthew Golden. It's obvious. They did not have a number 12 grade on Golden. They didn't have a number 12 grade on Hampton, and a lot of people didn't. There were a lot of these draft experts. I'm not talking about Cowboys content creators. I'm talking about experts or who we deem as experts in these particular issues. Some people were saying that they didn't think he was worth a number 12. Everybody was going back and forth. What was worthy of a number 12 pick? And they obviously didn't think Matthew Golden was worthy. They definitely didn't think Emeka was worthy of that 12 pick. The Cowboys could have addressed wide receiver at number 12. They could have did anything they wanted to at number 12. But what did they do? So if we can't get Tet, then we're going to address the board. Booker. They obviously had Booker graded higher than everyone else that they didn't take. Because if they didn't, then they're lying and they didn't stick to the board. No, they stuck to the board. They stuck to the board and they got Booker. And I don't regret the pick. I would have loved to have Tet McMillan. I don't regret the pick. It's great. The Cowboys said, no, we're going to address the trenches if we can't get Tet. And I think they were still going to address the trenches. But they addressed it in the first round. They got Tyler Booker. They did. And if you just listen to the way they talked about this draft, day 2 and 3, I'm just going by the press conference. Even on day 2, what they wound up with, it's not, they didn't go in that day saying, we're going to get Donovan Ezaraku. Now, I'm not so sure about Savon Revel, but they didn't go in saying, hey, Donovan Ezaraku is going to be the next pick. No, the running backs went off the board. The running backs went off the board. And I'm just saying all of this to just say, the Cowboys have a plan. And this is why they emphasize their board so much, because they were saying, guys, we have a plan. We stayed with our board. We didn't go outside of our board. We didn't reach on players. I do think they might have reached on the one guy, because I think they were afraid they were not going to get him, and they must really like Shamar James. They traded up to get him. But they said, of course, he's still on the board. They said they stuck with their board. And I'm saying all of this. That's why I'm saying be patient. If this was any other year, I'd be questioning a whole lot of things. But based on what I've seen them do, I've heard Brian Schottenheimer speak it. Now I see it coming into existence. Now I seeing everything unfold. I got patience. No, I have patience. I'm not anxious for Keenan Allen. I'm not anxious for Amari Cooper. I'm not anxious for the Cowboys to just out of desperation say, hey, who's left? Who's left out there that we can go get? No. Nope. Get these rookies in. Get them acclimated. Go back and look at your team again, just like I'm looking at it right now. I do not think the Cowboys are done tweaking this team. They're not done tweaking this team. I mean, if you look on here, just looking at the defense, their rotation already on defense, it looks absolutely crazy. And some people I've seen where people have been saying maybe, another one tech. I think that's what I've been seeing and I've been hearing. The Cowboys, they got Oso Digizua. They got Mozzie Smith. I think Joe Toya, I think his name is Toya or Toaya. I'll have to go and see how you pronounce his name. But again, this guy that we got from, I think, UCLA, they got Solomon Thomas. I mean, when you just start looking, man, the Cowboys, they're still tweaking. They're not done. But for right now, the Cowboys need to stand pat. Unless something incredible just happens and somebody wants to make a crazy trade for a great player. But I don't think any of that's going to happen right now, because I think everybody else is doing exactly what I'm saying we should be doing, and I'm sure the Cowboys are doing, but I want us to do the same thing as a fan base. Can we just breathe in and breathe out? Let us just take a deep breath in and out and look at what we're doing. Because let me tell you something. Whether you trust them or not, you don't get to tell them what to do. This is what the so-called experts don't understand. You don't get to tell them what to do. You don't work for the team. You don't work in the front office. I mean, you can say anything you want to. I'm just going to tell the fan base. Love me, like me, or hate me. I'm just going to tell the fan base. Be patient. Be patient. Got a long way to go. It's only April the 30th. We have a long way to go. Look at where we are now. Just go out there and look at the way people are talking about the Cowboys draft. We're looking pretty good, but we're not done. And they know they're not done. Hoodie Kush, he said, gee, you literally said this yesterday. We're getting younger. Don't tear down the apple tree yet. And Hoodie Kush, people are tearing down the apple tree. They're already tearing down the apple tree. No, let's continue to let this thing grow. Freddie Mugia, he said, I'm ready for Dak Prescott and company. Man, I'm telling you, these guys, I bet you they're chomping at the bit to get on the field. They're chomping at the bits. They are ready to get on this thing. Brandy, what's going on? They are ready to get on here. Timothy Govin. Mingo is our number 2. Now, Timothy Govin, let's think about this. We're going to keep Amari Cooper and Jonathan Mingo at the top part of this for just a moment. He's the number 2 right now. It doesn't mean he's going to be the number 2 when the season starts. Doesn't mean he's going to be the number 2 when the season starts. Just means he's the number 2 right now. Well, last time I checked, we're not playing on Sunday. I'm not concerned with Jonathan Mingo being the number 2 wide receiver right now. Last time I checked, we're not playing in May. Are we playing in May? Nah, we're not playing in May. The Cowboys, they're still looking. The issue is they got to get who they're looking for. They're getting younger. And I don't believe that the wide receiver they want, and let me say this, and I don't even necessarily know if the wide receiver they need, I don't think he's out there in free agency yet. I don't think he's out there yet. And the Cowboys actually should just, and I'm sure they're probably doing what they need to do. I can't tell them what to do. But if I were the Cowboys, what I would be doing, I'm waiting until June 1st. Football season is going to heat up. Let me look at this real quick. Hold on. Let me just show you how this is heating up. Who did the Cowboys waive today? Oh, okay, here it is. I'm just showing you. Football season is heating up. This is why we need to be patient. We don't just need to grab whoever's out there now, because this is why if you're not patient, you mess around and get something now, and then later on you go, ooh, if we would have just waited. Look at who the Cowboys have already waived. They waived Malik Davis, Jack Anderson, Brock Mogensen, Earl Bostic Jr. It's heating up. It is heating up. All we need to do is wait. Just wait. It's not, you don't have to be a football guru to know we need, and I don't even say, at least we believe we need. We don't really know what Mingo is yet. with Dak Prescott. But based on the fact we don't know what Mingo is, we need a number two. And maybe the question, or maybe the issue is, or are we getting insurance? Because I've seen some people say we need insurance in case he isn't good, in case he isn't the number two. See, I understand what some people are saying. They want the insurance policy in case he isn't the number two. They want the insurance policy. I feel you on that. I understand exactly what you're saying. But the Cowboys are going to give this man a run at it. They are. And I believe they're going to give him a true run at this thing. They are. They're going to see what he is. And this is the part you need to keep in your mind. They're going to give him a run at it while at the same time still looking at the wires. Who comes free? They're already reporting now that Amari Cooper may be thinking about reuniting with the Raiders. Don't know how true that is, but people are saying this. But again, Jonathan Mingo is the number two today. I'm not concerned about today because we're not playing Sunday. Let's see what continues to shake down. Post-June 1st cuts are coming, and some of them, there are probably going to be some people that people didn't expect to be cut. So that's the next phase the Cowboys need to be keeping their ears open for. And again, I'm sorry to tell you this, but the Cowboys should not. And if I know we're the Dallas Cowboys. We are the Dallas Cowboys, the number one sports franchise in the world. But do we not understand that not everybody wants to play for us? I think there are a lot of people that do want to play for us, but not everybody wants to play for us. Now, you got to understand something. You think about this. You're Keenan Allen. Put yourself in Keenan Allen's shoes. You're 31 years old. Do you want the chip or the check? Because if you want the chip, Keenan Allen should probably have his feet kicked up somewhere, getting his body rested, getting his body worked on, working out with his trainer, working out whoever he works out with to keep his knife sharp. And he should be keeping, him and his agent should be keeping their ears out for who is the team that is the closest to the Super Bowl. And can we, and think about it like this. Keenan Allen should actually be thinking, how close can I get to the Super Bowl? Now, I know the experts don't want to talk like this. I'm just talking practicality, common sense. Do you want a chip? Because if you want a chip, you need to pick the team you go to. Do you know why Davante Adams went to the Rams? And I'm pretty sure there are a plethora of reasons. One, I heard he wanted to get back on the East Coast. Two, they gave him probably the money that they probably gave him the money that he wanted. I mean, they were probably one of the teams that were willing to give him money close to what he wanted. But do we also understand something else about the Rams? You don't think Davante Adams is looking at the Rams saying they were close to the Super Bowl? If I'm Keenan Allen, if I'm Amari Cooper, I'm actually trying to get to the team that's the closest to the Super Bowl. Who can get me closest to the Super Bowl while at the same time getting me paid? Who can do that? Keenan Allen should be thinking that. Unless for Keenan Allen, for the remainder of his career, the only thing he's looking at is the check. Well, if the only thing he's looking at is the check, well, Keenan Allen and his agent are probably looking for the team who's going to pay him the most money. And I'm telling y'all, and I know I had a guy in my comments. Had me laughing. He said, "Ooh, you're so negative." It's funny because I guarantee you a lot of people wouldn't call me that. Ooh, you're so negative. Because you're saying the Dallas Cowboys are not going to win the Super Bowl this year. Let me show you an amazing stat. Let me show you an amazing stat. Do y'all know how many rookie coaches? We do know Brian Schottenheimer is a rookie coach, right? Do you know how many rookie coaches have actually won the Super Bowl? I'm going to come to y'all comments after this. Do y'all know how many rookie coaches that have won the Super Bowl? Two. I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm just saying what you're up against. And when you look at the context of both of these, those teams were already established with incredible talent. The Cowboys have incredible talent. They don't have the team gelled yet, though. Like Barry Switzer coming in for the Cowboys in 94. That team had already gelled. It was inevitable that they were going to win the Super Bowl in 95. It just seemed to be inevitable. The team was already gelled. We're talking Brian Schottenheimer, brand new coach, brand new coaching staff, brand new players. Not saying it can't happen. Boy, but the chances of it happening is, hey, man, I think we're going to be competitive. I do believe we're going to be in the playoffs. But as far as getting the chip, boy, that would be an accomplishment that would be otherworldly, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it if it happens. But I'm also going to enjoy them building their way to doing that, I believe, into 2026 and the 2027 season, because I think those will be the seasons to where they're going to be on the verge of being a juggernaut. I think that will be where they're going to be. But the reason why I'm bringing this up, so how is Keenan Allen looking at the Cowboys? If Keenan Allen wants the chip, is he looking at the Cowboys as one of those teams that are on the verge of winning the chip? And again, boy, let me tell you, y'all better understand what I'm telling you, why people are questioning or why they are questioning Amari Cooper's drive for playing football. Because even Amari Cooper needs to be asking himself, is it about the chip or is it about the check? Because if you're being driven by the check, how many players at the end of their career we've seen driven by the check? Only for them to fall off a cliff, get the check from that team, and ride off into the sunset. How many players have we watched do that? You got to ask yourself that question. Now, you got to think about how Brian Schottenheimer and some of these guys, what are their mentality on this? I'll tell you this. I don't want a receiver on my team who only wants to come here for the check. He's at the end of his career. He only wants to be here for the check. I don't want that wide receiver. No, I actually want a young wide receiver. I want a wide receiver who's trying to get the chip and the check. I want a young wide receiver who's hungry to win, hungry to prove himself, hungry to prove to this league that he's worth being one of the top 5 or top 10 paid wide receivers. I want that young wide receiver to come in here to do that, because he's the guy. He's not bringing in necessarily a lot of baggage. He's not bringing in a certain way he likes to do things. No, he's coming in because he wants to be a part of a growing program. That's the wide receiver that I want. And even in those guys, they need to ask themselves, chip or the check? And that's why I'm telling us, the wide receiver the Cowboys are looking for, he's on somebody else's team right now. He's either on somebody else's team or he's playing in college right now. But he's not out there, I believe, in free agency. If we get one of these wide receivers that are available right now, the only thing that we're doing is we're getting a player more out of desperation or what we feel we need right now versus maybe what we are really looking for and what we really need, and that is going to be a part of not the 1-year plan, because the 1-year plan, even Stephen Jones alluded to this, the 1-year plan is just kind of getting this thing together and everybody gelling and getting on the same page so we can, hey, let's now see if all this stuff is going to work together. And so are you bringing in an older player? Are you bringing him in? Are you going to make him a part of the 2 or 3 year plan? I contend, for me, this is just how I look at it. I contend that Keenan Allen is actually a wide receiver that the Kansas City Chiefs should be looking at. We're talking about Dallas. No, I think Kansas City should be looking at him because he's one of those type of players that, hey, are you like 1 or 2 players away? Bring in Keenan Allen. Bring in Keenan Allen. He will help you more than DeAndre Hopkins did last year. Bring in Keenan Allen. He will help Patrick Mahomes. He can be that receiver for Patrick Mahomes. He can be that clutch receiver, that chain mover, that 10, that 15-yard dig guy, out guy. He can be that receiver. He's the type of receiver, to me, that you're looking at when you want to get over, that when you're saying, we want to win the Super Bowl. Cowboys are not there yet. They'll be there next year. So then if you get Keenan Allen, you're stupid if you bring in Keenan Allen on a 1-year rental. That don't make dollars and it don't make sense. The one thing we don't have to worry about in Dallas, even in our current state, we're going to fill the stadium. We're not like other teams. No, we're going to fill our stadium no matter who we got up in this joint. We can be 0-8 and win 1 game and everybody go, there's a chance. We might go on a 9-game win streak. There's a chance. Stadium, field. The Cowboys, patience. And I believe they are being patient. I do believe they are being patient, and I like what they're doing. Pure Gaming, he said this team is being built for competition. Minicamp is about to be interesting. Boy. Hey, man. Pure Gaming. Boy, I'm so excited about these minicamps, man. Boy, you are exactly right. KC, he said, be patient, Cowboys Nation. History repeats itself. Jerry got his Jimmy Johnson in the 90s, and Steven might be getting his version of Jimmy. This draft class looks solid. KC, this is the closest thing I've seen to Jimmy. Nothing else looked like Jimmy. This is starting to resemble Jimmy. Jenkins Gaming, he said, I believe Daniel Steelers want too much for him, saying they wanted a second. Oh, you're talking about Pickens? Are you talking about Pickens for the Pittsburgh the Cowboys trading with Pickens? I'm hearing that now it is starting to kind of circulate. The Steelers wanted to get into day 2. Yeah, they wanted to get into day 2 is what they wanted. If you're talking about the Steelers as it applies to Pickens, and the Cowboys didn't think Pickens was worth the 2nd-round pick. My man Chanel in the crib, he said, for all you Shador talking, Jerry is going to trade for Shador. Is he trolling or wishing on a star? He said, put the Shador stuff to bed. Yes, sir. You know, Chanel, I'm not going to hit on it. I'm not going to talk about it long today. But, again, after watching everything about Shador Sanders and just listening, some people have tried to call it racism. That was the one place I was not going because I didn't think it was racism, and it didn't make sense to even say that because Cam Ward was the number 1 draft pick in this league this year. It wasn't that. It wasn't that. And let me tell you something, Chanel, and I know you can relate to what I'm saying about Shador Sanders. Let me tell you something that people do not understand about Shador Sanders. Let me tell you something they don't understand. Shador Sanders is a very interesting quarterback. Because I want y'all to think about why so many people are going Google eyes for Joe Milton III. And I use Google eyes for a reason. Because they're looking at him. the stature, how big he is. Then they look at the tape, the arm talent. And I won't call it arm talent, but the fact that he has a cannon. They look at some of the thing. Let's use the word that some people, the hot word or the buzzword that Brian likes to use, traits. You're looking at some of the traits. He can move. He can he's elusive in the pocket. You look at all of those things. Those are the things that have people buzzing about Joe Milton. Now compare that to Shedeur Sanders. How big is Shedeur Sanders? How big is he? When you think about a quarterback, and the reason why people are all Google eyes over Joe Milton III, how big is Shedeur Sanders? Now, I'm going somewhere with this, but understand, again, how big is Shedeur Sanders? Shedeur Sanders is 6'1.5". Does 6'1.5" jump off the paper for you? You hear that a quarterback is 6'1.5". Do you go, what? But when I say Joe Milton III is 6'5", what? Shedeur Sanders is 212 pounds. Does that make you go crazy for a quarterback? But if I tell you he's 235 pounds, what? He's 212 pounds. What is his 40? What is Shedeur Sanders' 40 time? Anybody know? Oh, he didn't run at the combine, so. What is he? Does Shedeur Sanders wow you physically? No, he does not wow you physically. Period. End of story. You can be dishonest with yourself if you want to. He does not wow you physically. But when you look at the tape, you're like, whoa, man, this dude ball placement is crazy. Wait a minute, hold on a second. This dude's accuracy. All right, even if he's doing some check down. People used to get on the Dak Prescott for all the check down stuff, and Dak still, when he started going down the field and being accurate, people were hating on that too. But when you look at Shedeur Sanders' tape, you start to see stuff like, wait a minute, this dude might be playing a little bit bigger than what he is. He could take a hit. He can scramble when you want to. He can get out of the pocket. He's elusive too. He can throw on the run, vision downfield. Hey, you know what? This guy's pretty good. But when you combine his body type, and again, you have to understand, someone may say, well, Kyler Murray is smaller than him. Yeah, Kyler Murray is also quicker than him. Kyler Murray is also faster than him. Kyler Murray can run the doggone ball. Again, when you look at Shedeur Sanders, the physical traits don't jump off the tape on. It's not the physical stuff that jumps off the tape. It's his skill that more jumps off the tape when you start talking about Shedeur Sanders. Now, I'm saying all of this to say some teams actually didn't have Shedeur Sanders as a first-round grade. They had him more of a second-round grade. The travesty in this, though, is that he's not a fifth-round grade. But let me go back again. This is what was being said. And Cam Newton, if you have not seen what Cam Newton said about one Shedeur Sanders, I don't care what any football expert says. Let me tell you something. That Cam Newton talking that talk on Shedeur Sanders, Cam Newton said it best. He said he was parading himself around like he was a defensive back rather than a quarterback. A defensive back is different than a quarterback. A defensive back, you're not concerned with the way some of the things he's saying and doing and blah, blah, blah. I mean, we're not talking about criminal stuff. You're not worried about that kind of, that braggadociousness that a defensive back. Hold on a second. So, Cam, did you just really say he was carrying himself like Deion Sanders carried himself? Cam said it. When you're a quarterback, man, you carry yourself like the CEO of a company because that's what they consider you to be. Man, you're the CEO, bro. We don't want you rolling up in here with the big chains. We don't hate your big chains, but we want you to roll up in here looking like man. We want you to roll up in here like this thing is business. Where Shedeur Sanders failed, and I'm not going to make this a long topic, where he failed is on the business side. Shedeur Sanders didn't fail on the field. That argument is null and void. He didn't fail on the field. He failed in the business of football. And Deion Sanders, whether it was through the wrong information or whether it was through fill in the blank, they overplayed what people or the demand. Let me put it like this. They overplayed the demand of Shedeur, and they tried to guide him to one team. And this is coming out, and it is, I'm telling you, when everybody is saying similar things, it's probably true. It is a known fact that Deion has talked about. He bombed interviews with teams he didn't want to go to on purpose. Deion could do that. 28 other teams wanted him. Shedeur couldn't do that in a year where there were really only about 27 teams that needed a quarterback. And you're bombing interviews because you're trying to guide yourself towards one team. And the one team that you guided yourself toward, they're the very team that didn't like your interview. And this, after all of what I've kind of absorbed, this is the truth about Shedeur Sanders. And some of the stuff, could there be some hate on his dad? I do think that there was some hate on his dad, but I also think there was some hate on his dad because his dad, you're trying to be Shedeur's agent? No. And someone says, well, other people's parents do it. No, but Deion shouldn't do it because Deion himself is cognitive of the hatred that some of these franchises have for him. He's cognitive of it. Deion didn't negotiate his own deal. His parents didn't negotiate his deal. No, you go out, Deion, and you do what you did. You go out and get your son one of the top agents in this game. Doggone it, go get Todd France. Go get Todd France. That's what you do. And that's what kind of happened to Shedeur. It's a lot more to it. But again, back to the Cowboys. Gregory Davis says, we have CD at wide receiver 1. The other wide receivers are 3s and 4s. We do. Stephen Jones was right about the number 2 on the team. Yeah. And again, Gregory Davis. That's another reason why I'm being patient. Because I believe that if he believes that, then he's going to do something about it. But again, I don't think that receiver is out there. Jenkins said, did you see if Cooper was hanging with Parsons? If I'm not mistaken, Cooper may have a house over here in Dallas. Alan Beckham said, no trade. After Shedeur is cut by the Browns, he will be available for minimum wage. Jerry knows that. You know what? Some teams may circle the block back around, but I don't know if he's going to get cut. I think he can win that job, Alan Beckham. I really do. I think he can win that job in Cleveland. Freddie said, don't get me wrong, I love our team, but Jerry is letting Shotty enjoy the candy store. I can tell you what, he's listening to him. My man, the dude, he said, what's going on? Oh, he said, I like that Brooks commercial. Yes, sir. Daniel M. And you know Daniel M., I just mentioned it. They've already made 4 roster cuts. And Daniel M., you made a very good point last night because, again, this is why I'm kind of alluding to this too. The wide receiver the Cowboys need, I'm sorry. The wide receiver the Cowboys need, I don't think he's in free agency. I think he's on somebody else's team right now. I think the wide receiver the Cowboys need is on somebody else's team. This is why I'm not going to waste a lot of my time trying to evaluate the receivers that are still left, because we're really just doing what has already been done. The receivers that most people are talking about are some of the same receivers that people were talking about before the draft. And so it is obvious that the Cowboys don't want those receivers. And the best thing for the Cowboys to do is just wait until June 1st. Let's see who gets released. Let's see who gets released. Yeah, Chanel, they're starting to trim the fat. This is why I'm trusting the process. I'm trusting the process. They did a great job in free agency. They did a great job in the draft. I'm trusting the process. Brian Schottenheimer, I'm just listening to little things that he said that I overlooked before. Brian Schottenheimer's told Jerry Jones, there is nobody that is going to outwork me. Brian Schottenheimer is continuing to put in work. He knows what's on this team. He knows what's on this team. He's continuing to put in work. He's going to continue to keep working on. He's going to continue to keep working on Will McClay. He's going to keep working on them until they can get what they want. Yeah, Pure Gaming. I thought about this the other day. I don't think Isaiah Bond is probably going to get picked by the Cowboys for character issues, unless they really, really do the homework on this thing. And determine that he was totally, innocent. Totally innocent in all these different things. So, yeah, it's not going to happen. Yeah, Jerry's not going to bring in Shador. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Not happening at all. Jared Thomas, what's going on? He said, I'm here. I'm staying patient. I understand the vision. Long term, we're building to take down Philly and Jalen Hurts. Dak beats him as much as basically anyone. Facts. The dude, he said, I think Steven and Jerry got a line to Isaiah Bond and his agent. Bond just stands to make more by waiting and getting cleared of the mess he's in first. Yeah. And again, I think if everything comes back clean, the dude, and they determine that, and again, this is why I say when you start talking about character, guys, as someone who's in the business of character, when you're talking about people, you have to determine what you're trying to determine is if they're evil from the core. Because some people just have bad intentions. Point blank, period. That's why I know the difference when men have bad intentions. And this is why I tell anyone, be careful who you associate with. When I see people who have bad intentions, people who purposely say bad things about you, people who try to say things about you on the slide, try to demean you, and people who they're not making mistakes. They're doing dumb things because that's who they are. They have a track record of doing dumb things. Well, that person right there has got some serious issues. And so, you probably don't want to associate or affiliate, or you don't want to bring that person onto your team. But if we're talking about somebody who's a good kid, and everything we've seen about them up until this point, and what Isaiah Bond may be, the only thing that Isaiah Bond may be guilty of is naivety. That's the thing that he may be guilty of. So when you start talking about stuff like that, guys like that, that's what you're trying to determine. And for everything I've heard, other than this incident with Isaiah Bond, he doesn't seem to be a bad guy. So we're going to see. Boy, yeah, I remember him. Robert Dudley said, I just hope Mingo is not Alan Hearns from the Jags. Yes, sir. One-hit wonder. 1,000-yard guy. Yes, sir. I know what you're talking about. Rico Jones, I feel you. Appreciate you, my brother. Gregory said, like I said before, the Cowboys need to trade for a number one wide receiver. I like your thinking on this. And again, but Gregory, so if you're thinking about a wide receiver one, they need to be young. Let me show you something interesting I came across on Next Gen Stats. Let me show you something very interesting I came across. So I've seen, when we start talking about these wide receivers and we start talking about separation, I think when we start talking about some of this stuff, we really need to consider the play caller from last year. And I do believe that Mike McCarthy created Troy Aikman. Do y'all remember Troy Aikman came out early in the season? And Troy Aikman was talking about the route concepts the Cowboys were running. How poor the route concepts were, talking about the wide receivers and the routes they were running. I mean, it was pretty bad, the things that he was talking about, right? So when we start looking at these stats like separation, for example, could that also be attributed to a scheme? I mean, when you really think about it, people were even talking about Kellen Moore's scheme. Could some of that be attributed to scheme? And as much as people talk about separation, one of the things that I started thinking about was, well, I wanted to go look at the Philadelphia Eagles separation. I wanted to go look at their wide receivers and their separation and start looking at some of these stats that people talk about. And when you start looking at this thing on the 2024 season and you start talking about separation, this chart is kind of off the chain. I have a subscription to NFL.com and they give you some of these extra things. I'm going to get Pro Football Focus next to get some of these more deeper stats and things of that nature to tie to some of the film that people are talking about. But when you start looking at this thing about separation, average separation, because a lot of people talk about this. When you start looking at some of these wide receivers and their separation, it's pretty incredible. When you think about CeeDee Lamb, 2.9, of separation, especially when you're talking about the scheme and the system that Mike McCarthy was running. Well, the thing that I was looking at is I wanted to look at A.J. Brown. And when you look at A.J. Brown's separation was 2.1. A.J. Brown's separation was 2.1. So when you think about the Eagles scheme, which one of them is the number one? Because I would consider A.J. Brown to be the number one receiver, right? A.J. Brown has a 2.1 separation. He amassed 1,079 yards, and that's 67 receptions. But again, A.J. Brown's separation is 2.1. Look at Cortland Sutton. We were talking about Cortland Sutton. Cortland Sutton has a 2.5 separation. 2.5. And there's another number here I'm very interested in. I want to do some more research on this, but average cushion. And average cushion, I would have to assume, and I think we could all assume, it's the average cushion that you are given by defensive backs or defenses. And so the average cushion for all of these guys is in the 5s and the 6s. But again, as you kind of look at A.J. Brown, his average cushion is 5.6. Cortland Sutton's is 6, and he's a 2.5 separation, and A.J. Brown's a 2.1. I'm just bringing this up because I've been seeing people talk about separation. You think about some of these guys, and some of these guys' separation is insane, man. Zay Flowers, 3.9. That's crazy work. That is absolute crazy work. And then you think about guys, like Mike Evans, 2.5. I just kind of wonder about some of these things that we use. You think about DK Metcalf, he's 2.6. But the thing that's incredible to me is as you start getting down here, you're looking at, for example, T. Higgins is only 2.4. George Pickens is only 2.3. Is that some attributed to the scheme? Blah, 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 this case may be. Superstar receiver Marvin Harrison, he's only at a 2. He's a rookie. We'll see what happens as he go on. He's going to be a superstar, though. Look at Devontae Smith's separation. It's a 3. He's a 3. A.J. Brown is a 2.1. Well, CeeDee Lamb is a 2.9. And then I was like, okay, well, Jonathan Mingo isn't on this list. I'm assuming he didn't register enough receptions to be on the list for them to really, kind of put him into this. There's a receiver on here, Josh Downs. I think I may have seen his name come up in some discussions. But again, when you start looking at some of these wide receivers, and the one that I really want to see is Jalen Tolbert. Jalen Tolbert's separation is a 2.7. This is Jalen Tolbert. This is one of the main problems I have with Jalen Tolbert. Jalen Tolbert is so inconsistent. Do we not realize that 2.7 separation is not bad? 2.7? It's not bad. When you consider CeeDee Lamb 2.9, he's a 2.7. What if Brian Schottenheimer brings in a better system? And again, pure gaming. You brought this up. I'm gonna let them blame you. You brought this up. You brought this up about Jalen Tolbert versus Amari Cooper. I'm not saying that Jalen Tolbert is better than prime Amari Cooper. He's not even, I don't even think in his prime, if Jalen Tolbert is even going to have a prime, or is he in that prime? I don't really know. But I would find it hard to believe that even if he takes another step in his prime, he'll be better or as good as Amari Cooper was in his prime. But let me say this. Amari Cooper isn't in his prime. Anybody who thinks he is, I don't know what to tell you. Amari Cooper is not in his prime. He's not in his prime. Not saying he can't be productive. But I'm sorry. Amari Cooper's separation is not even as good as Jalen Tolbert's. And that's fact. That's fact. Now, Keenan Allen's separation, at least based on this list, is a 3.0. His is better. But I'm just telling you, man, when you're looking at what we're looking at right here, I mean, I don't know what we're going to attribute this thing with Amari Cooper was this year. I mean, we're going to talk about his quarterback in Cleveland. Well, he went and played with the NFL's favorite quarterback in Josh Allen. I know it was half a season, but hey, man, Amari Cooper, he's been around for a while. He's been around for a while. I'm just saying, are we saying that Amari Cooper is better than what he showed? Is that what we're saying? Are we saying he's better than what he showed? Because even on tape, you can cherry pick all the plays and people will cherry pick the plays. Amari Cooper isn't what he used to be. That's the part we have to be honest with. He's not what he's used to be. And I think people have visions of sugar plums dancing in their head because they're thinking this is the same Amari Cooper who's going to come to the Cowboys and change life with the Cowboys the way he did the first time when he was here. I don't think he's going to be that Amari Cooper. I don't think he's going to be that Amari Cooper. And I think that's why the numbers are reflecting it. He's not going to be that Amari Cooper. And just kind of looking at this list, I mean, I think the reality of this situation is I don't think that wide receiver is out there right now. I don't. I don't think the wide receiver the Cowboys need to be the number 2 wide receiver. I don't think he's out there yet. I don't think he's out there. And I actually think he's on somebody else's team. That's where I think he is. I think he's on somebody else's team. And I think the Cowboys are really going to have to say that if they want that number 2 receiver, they're probably going to have to go get him off of somebody's team. And they're going to have to be willing in next year's draft. They might as well. And again, we already know they don't like 4th round picks. They already don't like 4th round picks. But I think if you really want that number 2 receiver, they're going to have to go a little bit higher than number 4. They're going to have to give up a second rounder because that's exactly what Pittsburgh wanted for Pickens. Now, I'll be honest with you. I'm glad the Cowboys didn't give up a number 2 for Pickens. But if they want a number 2, Daniel M brought up a couple of names. Y'all can give me a couple of names if you'd like to. But one of the names that Daniel M threw in the ring, boy, this dude Alec Pierce. Whew. I don't think the Colts are gonna let him go. But when you start talking about Alec Pierce, man, yes, sir. There's another one I heard this morning. Haven't done enough research on this. But there's another name that I heard out there this morning. Let me bring this up. I didn't even see this. This is something that I just seen on the wire. But they're saying that out there in Chicagoland, this man Luther Burden III may be sending a message. The Bears could cut ties with a $110 million star via trade after decision. DJ Moore. I'd have to look at the rest of the contract. The contract might be a little too rich for the Cowboys' blood. Moore has a $24 million cap hit this season, $28 million cap hit for the next 3 seasons. Now, when we think about DJ Moore, that's a lot of money. I was wanting the Cowboys to get DJ Moore when he came available the first time. That's a lot of bread. Looks like what, DJ Moore is 28? It's a lot of money. But DJ Moore has been a beast of a receiver. He really has. He's been a beast of a receiver. There is no doubt about it, man. He's been a beast of a receiver. Been healthy, too. 17 games, 4 years straight. 1,100, 888, 1,300, 966. Man. I don't know what his contract looked like, but DJ Moore, it all depends on what the Cowboys are trying to do. If they're saying they want another wide receiver for the next 3 or 4 years, and they're not looking to see if one of these guys like Mingo or one of these guys like Tolbert develops into the number 2 over the next 2 to 3 years, well, this is probably one of the kind of moves they're going to have to make. But I don't know. He's a little old for my taste. I know some of us may say, and I'm an older man too, but I mean, I'm just talking about if maybe I would probably be trying to look in the 26-year range, but okay, 28, he's in his prime. You would definitely get the 3 of his prime years, 28, 29, and 30. And if he takes care of himself, a wide receiver can be prime years all the way from 28 to 33 if he takes care of his body. So DJ Moore, it'd be a big contract. DJ Moore would be a big contract for the Cowboys. Let me see how this thing has worked. Let's see here. Yeah, that contract, fresh too. That contract is fresh. They don't even have any void years in there. I don't know if the Cowboys would be able to rework the deal or anything, but this is what the DJ Moore deal looks like. DJ Moore going to hit you for 24, 28.5, 28.5. And then you can get from up under him in 2027. So if the Cowboys were to pick him up, whoo, man. If they could make a trade, find some kind of way to eat some of that contract or rework that contract, whatever the case may be, man, I'm just telling you, boy, DJ Moore, man. Yeah, you put DJ Moore with CeeDee Lamb. Whoa, man, that would be crazy work. But again, I think the receiver the Cowboys are looking for, I don't think he's on the team. I don't think he's in free agency. I think he's on somebody's team. I really do. I think he's on somebody's team. He's on somebody's team. I'm just telling you. He's on somebody's team. Lord Nova, you're right. We have no place to go but up. And I'm going to trust the process. I'm going to trust the process. Don't know be the best. He said it's too much money for Amari. Keenan is better right now. And I even think with Keenan Allen, you really got to be saying to yourself, okay, because you can't bring in Keenan Allen for one season. It don't make sense. And then you have to question yourself, then am I going to commit to Keenan Allen for 2 to 3 seasons? And if I'm going to commit to Keenan Allen for 2 or 3 seasons, do I think he's worth an average of 17, 15, 17, $20 million a season? Boy, I don't know if I could do that for an older receiver. And especially when, and again, let me throw this caveat in there. Keenan Allen is a great wide receiver, but he's no longer explosive. He's not what you're deeming explosive. He's not. He's not. It doesn't mean he can't do some explosive plays. He's not what they're talking about. DJ Moore is actually more of what they're talking about. Explosive. TJ Moore is explosive. Absolutely explosive. Yeah, I agree with you on that to a degree, the dude. He probably was the head coach, even in 95, 96, 97 too, before he finally got out of there. Yeah, he really did. Him and Irvin, these guys had to put him on the shoulders. Yeah, Nick Burston, he got to check himself. He really does. He's got to figure out what is he playing for, the chip or the check. And if you're playing for the chip, you're going to have to probably come in at a lower price for some of these teams. If you're going for the check, then you probably don't need to be looking at Dallas. Pure Gaming said, DJ Moore is cold. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. DJ Moore would be one of them type of receivers. I mean, you're talking about a different type of receiver when you're talking about DJ Moore. Explosive. That's what you're looking for. Yeah. Daniel M., he's owed 20 plus million. But if you're wanting explosive, I think he'd be worth it. I think a receiver like DJ Moore would be worth it. But I do believe if the Cowboys want that second wide receiver, they got to go get somebody else. They got to go on somebody's team. D Block, he said they ain't got 2 or 3 years. I'm going to tell you this. Tober definitely ain't got 2 or 3 years. I think like the Michael Jackson special, this is it. And I don't believe they're going to give Mingo more. But you know what? Let me tell you about Mingo. If I'm not mistaken, the Cowboys control Mingo for the next 3 years maybe. Man, his contract hit is so little. Mingo, man, you can't even classify what Mingo has as a contract. If he turns out the way they want him to, boy, they got him dirt cheap. Yeah, DJ Moore, I'm just telling you, he's one of them type of receivers. If you want one of those, he's one of them. Intelligent Savage, what's going on? Poopy D, Angie the Rebel Chicks, y'all, what's up? I'm just saying, if we really want that wide receiver that we're truly looking for, I think he may be on somebody else's team, and the Cowboys are going to have to make a decision. Go get him. D-Block. He said, hey, well, D-Block, this, and again, if the Cowboys are not going to do this, then they're going to have to make a decision. Because before I would pay Keenan Allen, I'm just telling you me, this isn't about degrading anyone else. If I'm looking for explosive, I'm looking for DJ Moore. If I'm looking for explosive, I'm looking for Alec Pierce. That's who I'm looking for. I'm looking for those type of receivers. I'm looking for younger, explosive receivers. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for these older receivers. I'm not checking for these older receivers. I'm not. To me, that's desperation. And I don't mean that's desperation as in they may not be good, because I think they will be good. I think they will contribute. The Cowboys shouldn't just be looking for a step up. And I don't think that's what they're looking for. I think they're looking for explosive. And I don't think that's what Keenan Allen, and I don't think that's what Amari Cooper is anymore. That don't mean they're not great wide receivers, good wide receivers, any way you want to categorize them. If you're looking for explosive, that wide receiver is not in free agency yet. That wide receiver is on somebody else's team. So the Cowboys, again, they're going to have to just sit back and chill. For right now, the Cowboys are going to have to chill. And just wait until the post-June 1st cuts. And then see what's out there. Because, again, I'm just encouraging all of the Dallas Cowboy fans, be anxious for nothing. Let's be patient. And I don't even think the Cowboys are anxious. I think they're looking. I don't think they're anxious. I don't think they're anxious. I think they're looking. And I think they're trying to find a deal. And George Pickens, who I don't even think goes along with what they've been trying to do, I think the reason why they were even looking at George Pickens is because George Pickens, they consider him to be an explosive, because he is. George Pickens is an explosive wide receiver. Yes, sir. Poobie D said, if we pay Amari Cooper 18 and a half a year, if that was the case, we could have paid Cup. Yep. And that's one of the reasons why I think Keenan Allen will continue to be out there, because Keenan Allen wants to get paid. At least that's what I think he does. He wants to get paid. The rumor is he wants to get paid. Lonnie, what's going on? I'm the same. I'm going to trust the process. I'm going to trust the process. Tyreek Hill, as good as he is, I don't think Tyreek is fitting what the Cowboys want to do. I don't think they'll bring in Tyreek Hill. I don't think he fits what they want to do. 70s fan, I do think that they could probably be Green Bay Packers. You're right. Green Bay Packers receivers. You're right. Green Bay Packers receivers. They might be one of those teams. That's why I'm saying the Cowboys have got to just stay patient. Just stay patient, because with who they picked up, they might drop a receiver or two. Or maybe they're looking for a trade. You never know. I think the receiver the Cowboys is looking for is on somebody else's team. I do. I think he's on somebody else's team. Los Altos. And this becomes the issue. Los Altos, if you're just trying to fill in for this year until you're able to continue building next year, then bringing Keenan Allen for 1 year would make sense. There it is. I wouldn't do him for a 1-year rental. I wouldn't do him a 1-year rental, but some may bring him in. The Cowboys could say, hey, let's just bring him in for a 1-year rental. Let's hit these playoffs. Maybe win a playoff game. And then we're back off into the draft next year, and we'll try to get the top. We'll try to get the top one. Will Pounds, appreciate that super chat. He said, my dude, I've been patient since 1995. He said, I'm showing so much patience. He said, Joe rose out the grave and called me asking if I could be this patient. Hey, let me tell you something, though. Will Pounds, continue to be patient. They're finally doing something different. If they were not doing anything different, I would say, I would understand, and I still understand. But they're doing things different, so I'm cool. I said it when they hired Shotty. I want to wait and see what Shotty is. Nope. I'm going to wait. And then I started seeing the things they were saying. Now I'm seeing the things they doing. I'm watching free agency. I'm watching the draft. Hey, man, looking pretty good so far. So far, so good. Pure Gaming. Yes, sir. Again, the receiver the Cowboys want, I believe he's on someone else's team. As we get closer to June 1st, I think they're going to have an opportunity to get a wide receiver. Poopy D said they ain't paying that. We're going to see. We're going to see. But I do think the wide receiver they want will come up. The wide receiver they want will come up, but he's not out there yet. He's not out there yet. Sinex, I think Tyreek Hill, man, he'd be a dream, but nah, the Cowboys not going to get him. They're not going to get Tyreek Hill, even though he did say Dak Prescott was in his top 5. Dwayne Trutt, I was just looking at Courtland Sutton. I'm just saying, when you're looking at some of these stats, not saying Tolbert is better than Courtland Sutton in any stretch of the imagination. Tolbert is very inconsistent. We don't know what Jonathan Mingo is yet, but again, I'm not sure they're looking in those areas. Courtland Sutton, again, is one of those older wide receivers. Man, big money wide receiver. But if I'm paying big money for a wide receiver of all the ones I've talked about, the one I would be looking at is DJ Moore. And again, now, if I were the Cowboys, hey, man, go out there and kick the tires on Alec Pierce. Or at least call up Indianapolis and see, what would you trade? What would you want for one Alec Pierce? The money wouldn't be too big for a guy like him. It wouldn't be. The money wouldn't be too big. But again, the Cowboys are really going to have to go out there. Oh, Tellinger Savage said we need to check on Jalen Waddle. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm telling you, man, the wide receiver they want is on somebody else's team. I don't think they're in free agency. Ratio, appreciate you. He said, I like the way this football team is getting built. Just need a wide receiver too, and we golden. There it is. And again, Ratio, this is why I'm not worried. Mingo is the wide receiver too now. We're not playing Sunday. Cowboys just need to chill like EPMD. Let's see what happens June 1st. And as we get closer, you watch what I tell you, Ratio. As we get closer to June 1st, apples are going to start falling off the tree. Apples are going to start falling off the tree. And I guarantee you, this is probably why the Cowboys are going to stand pat for a little while. And they're going to see who shakes down. Who shakes down out of the tree. I'm here for it. The dude, that's what I was thinking about too. I mean, once you do the Michael deal, you're going to have a little bit more money. Salary cap is going to go up a little bit more. The Cowboys could maybe absorb somebody like a DJ Moore. But again, I would still go to the Indianapolis Colts. We got to stop locking in on just the guys who are available now. That's why I'm saying be patient. Man, don't lock in on the guys who are available now. They've been out there. And if they've been out there, they're going to be out there. Nobody's running to get Amari Cooper. Nobody's running to get Amari Cooper. And I loved what Amari Cooper did. Nobody's running out there to get Amari Cooper, man. And nobody is running out there to get Keenan Allen. And I don't think with Keenan Allen, it's a ability thing. I think Keenan Allen got that price way up there. Dank said Mingo needs more time. And Dank, that's one of the reasons why I think they're going to give Mingo a couple of years. But Tolbert, I think this is it for him. I think it's it for him, man. I do. Yeah, D-Block, he said he would go get that receiver from the Jets. We're going to continue this conversation tonight when I come back. Yeah, and D-Block, that's why I'm saying the receiver the Cowboys want. I think he's on somebody else's team. I don't think he's out there in free agency. Yes, sir. Ice cold. Wait on the cuts. And Ice cold. I think people are underselling the Cowboys and Jaden Blue. This dude is going to be a part of the Cowboys passing game. Jaden Blue will be a part of the Cowboys passing game. Let us not forget about Kevontae Turpin. They're both going to be a part of the Cowboys passing game. They both will be. Cowboys going to be good to go. They just got to make sure they're. I agree with you guys on this. I understand where you are on the insurance policy in case one Mingo isn't it. DFW, appreciate that super chat. Yes, sir. We just gotta don't be the best. He said he like Pickens. He's explosive. This is why I say these other guys aren't fitting that description. He is explosive. That's why they tried to take a chance on him. But they were not willing to give up that day too. And I don't think Pittsburgh is gonna give him up. Keek, they trying to big up Tolbert like they were doing with Devin Street. At Devin Street goes to wide receiver university. Yeah, man, this Tolbert last year, bro. They're going to give him a chance, but it ain't going to happen. Intelligent, he said, I would also be on the door of the Texans and New England and the Packers. Man, y'all are hitting. This is exactly what the Cowboys, and this is probably what they're doing. Intelligent Savage, you make a great point. Because the teams that drafted wide receivers, maybe you need to be looking at those teams. Go and poach one of those receivers off those teams. Go to one of those teams, get one of those receivers who don't have the big money. Go get them. They got to do it. They're gonna have to do some looking. They are. But again, the guys who are out there right now, man, they'll be out there. We don't have to rush and get them. They'll be out there. Intelligent Savage said Christian Watkins is my target from the Packers if it's Green Bay. They got to knock on some of them doors, Savage. I love what you're saying. Yes, sir. 70s fan, I said the same thing. Pickens is a good thing. He says change the center for a wide receiver like Pickens is a good thing. You have to believe Pickens doesn't like the quarterback mess. Hey, 70s fan, I already showed us who this man quarterbacks were. Man, this man quarterbacks have been Mason Rudolph, Kenny Pickett, Jameis Winston, and Russell Wilson. Man, I ain't saying the dude should be tripping. Like, I ain't saying they should be acting a fool. But boy, I understand, boy. I understand what they talk about, boy. I you know how sometimes you say I don't condone it, but boy, I can understand why he be tripping. You know what? Again, if Amari comes in, he's a 1-year rental again. If Amari comes to Dallas, he's a 1-year rental. They'll go in the draft and they'll replace him. Yeah, I like what you're saying about Green Bay. See, we keep talking too much about the receivers that are out there now. That, to me, is settling. And I'm not saying that those guys aren't good, but there are reasons why those guys are still out there. If they were good, they wouldn't be. If other teams saw them as answers, they wouldn't be out there. Buffalo would have never let Amari get out of there. These guys wouldn't be out there. They wouldn't. They'd have went in free agency. Nope, they're still out there. I've heard people talking about Romeo Doubs. We'll look some more tonight on some of this stuff. The dude, exactly. The dude. If they'd have ran back the 2023 season, let's say they run back that 2023 squad, and Keenan Allen and Amari Cooper's out there. Oh, yeah. Boy, yeah. Because you're feeling like you're a move or two away. The Cowboys aren't feeling like they're a move or two away. And that's another reason why. And even with Keenan Allen, it's not a knock on Keenan Allen. He's a very good receiver. He's a great receiver. But I just don't think he's that type of wide receiver that if you're a team, you're getting younger and you're building, you're not looking at him. You're not even looking at Amari Cooper. I just think they're mercenary receivers now. Man, when you hit that 30 field, you're a mercenary receiver. If you're not already on a team with a contract, you're a mercenary receiver. You're now going to the highest bidders. Anybody knows what's been going on with Devontae Adams? He's a mercenary receiver now. He's a mercenary receiver. He went to the Rams because they think that, hey, this guy can be the difference between us going to the Super Bowl this year, because the Rams think they're that close. But this is the last one. I'm going to get out of here. Dang Lim said, gee, it's not like there's someone that's supposed to like DJ Moore, Hill, and Sutton is going to get cut for the Cowboys to go out there and sign right away. No, DJ Moore, I would go get him. Or at least I would try to go get him. I would. I try to go get him. But again, appreciate y'all guys. I'll see y'all again tonight on Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Peace.